The visitor that shouldn't exist for months, astronomers spoke with steady voices. They assured the world that 3 Atlas was nothing more than a dazzling passerby. A harmless interstellar traveler, sweeping across the outer edges of our solar system, destined to skim past Mars, flare briefly in the night sky, and then slip away forever into the vast unknown. It was painted as an event for stargazers, not scientists holding their breath. A showpiece for telescopes, not a line in a crisis report. Something you mark on a calendar the way you'd mark an eclipse or a meteor shower. The tone was always the same, safe, ordinary, predictable. But the universe rarely plays by the rules of predictability. It doesn't hand out harmless wonders without a price. And when the cosmos whispers a warning, it does so in the smallest of details: a fraction of speed, a bend in a trajectory, a flicker in the data. And then came James Webb. Not just a telescope, but a window into creation itself. A machine designed to peel back the very fabric of time, to see galaxies as they were billions of years ago. Yet now, its golden mirrors weren't turned toward the birth of stars or the first light of the universe. They were turned toward something much closer. Something much stranger. Something we thought we already understood. 3 Atlas. The data it sent back was supposed to confirm safety. Instead, it unraveled certainty. At first, the deviations were laughably small. Fractions of a degree in trajectory. Numbers that could be dismissed as noise, the kind of errors that come from instruments, not reality. But Webb doesn't make mistakes. And when you're tracking an object moving at blistering speed, those decimals matter. They aren't noise, they're warnings. Each tiny correction built on the last, like hidden footsteps across the void. Each adjustment accumulating until the picture was undeniable. 3 Atlas was not a passive rock drifting through gravity's pull. It was active. It was deliberate. It was steering. The moment that truth sank in, the language around it changed. Not in public. Not in press conferences. But behind closed doors, whispered in labs, coded into emails, scribbled into draft reports that would never reach the public eye. Words surfaced. Words that no one wanted tied to a comet: course adjustment, trajectory lock, impact corridor. Mars was no longer a passing waypoint. It was being framed as a target. And worse still was the method. Comets are chaotic. They spin and tumble, venting gas and dust as sunlight boils away their frozen shells. Their jets fire unpredictably, like fireworks going off at random, each one throwing the comet slightly off balance. But not this one. 3 Atlas's jets weren't random. They pulsed in rhythm. They fired in sequences so precise they resembled a guidance system. Each burst was perfectly measured, perfectly timed, perfectly aligned. It was as though the object wasn't fighting physics, it was controlling it. Scientists tried to resist the implication, but the pattern was undeniable. Gas emissions came not in chaos but in choreography. Every maneuver shaved the uncertainty from its orbit, narrowing its path, bending it ever closer to one place. Mars. The red planet. Our neighbor. The world humanity has dreamed of visiting, colonizing, making our second home. Now it was something else entirely. Now it was the center of a cosmic crosshair. And what unsettled astronomers most wasn't just where the object was heading. It was why it was heading there. Because the deeper we looked, the less it resembled anything natural. The less it felt like a comet, and the more it felt like a machine. A machine with direction. A machine with control. A machine with intent. And as James Webb's data piled higher, one thing became impossible to deny. This was no simple flyby. This was no random visitor. 3 Atlas wasn't just passing through. It was aiming. A countdown written in the sky when astronomers first logged 3 Atlas on July 1st, it was nothing remarkable. A faint blur against the stars, little more than a glowing smudge on the edge of our charts. Its coma shimmered faintly, its tail stretched behind it, and its speed, a staggering 87 kilometers per second relative to the Sun, drew quiet admiration. At that pace, it could bridge the distance between Earth and the Moon in less than 80 minutes. Fast. Impossibly fast. But not unprecedented. Not yet terrifying. To the public, it was a curiosity. An interstellar visitor, yes, but one destined to sweep past, wave its silent greeting, and disappear into the void. News anchors called it a comet with flair. Scientists described it as a spectacular flyby. The story was always framed the same way: beautiful, harmless, unforgettable. But beauty was not the story. Not anymore. Because in the weeks that followed, 3 Atlas began to behave in ways no comet ever should. Most comets, as they near the inner solar system, follow a predictable pattern. They fragment. They shed their icy layers. They outgas erratically, blasting jets of vapor that spin them unpredictably. They lose mass, lose stability, lose speed. But 3 Atlas refused to play by those rules. Instead of slowing, it accelerated. Instead of wobbling, it stabilized. Its coma brightened with unnatural intensity, doubling, then tripling, in mere weeks. Spectral analysis revealed bursts of carbon dioxide unlike anything ever observed. Ultraviolet spikes bled into the data, jagged and unnatural, their signatures repeating like clockwork. Not chaos. Not randomness. But rhythm. Precision. And then came the revelation that made every astronomer fall silent. The tail. Every comet has one, a glowing stream of dust and gas trailing in the solar wind. But 3 Atlas's tail wasn't just glowing. It was pulsing. Webb captured it first, the faintest flicker at regular intervals. Then other observatories confirmed it. Every 17 minutes, without fail, the tail brightened, flared, and dimmed again. 17 minutes. Not 16. Not 18. Always 17. That is not nature. That is design. It was as though the object was breathing, exhaling in deliberate intervals. Not jets of ice breaking free, but a controlled burn. A maneuver. A signal. From that moment, the narrative collapsed. 3 Atlas was not random. It was not natural. It was something else. Simulations were run. Supercomputers traced its path 1,000 different ways. And with every adjustment, the picture grew sharper and more terrifying. At first, its trajectory suggested a near miss, a harmless pass a few million kilometers from Mars. But as the data refined, the margins narrowed. The safe distance shrank. Until one morning, the numbers aligned in a way no one wanted to see. 3 Atlas's closest approach, less than 2 million kilometers. On a cosmic scale, that is not a miss, that is a knife's edge. A razor line of probability balanced between near pass and direct collision. And here was the detail that froze every conversation. With thrusts this precise, with corrections this deliberate, a single nudge, a velocity change of mere meters per second, would be enough to transform a near miss into a direct impact. 3 Atlas had that control. It was already using it. Mars, the red world, our neighbor, the planet humanity has dreamed of claiming for generations, was no longer a symbol of hope. It was a target. Every pulse of 3 Atlas's tail brought it closer. Every correction tightened the noose. This was no longer a comet passing by. This was a countdown written in fire across the night sky. Not in seconds. Not in hours. But in thrusts. In pulses. In alignments. 3 Atlas was converging. And as the days slipped away, the evidence could no longer be dismissed as coincidence. Whatever this object is, whatever force sent it here, it did not arrive by accident. It came with purpose. It came with intent.